Erickson with the National Weather Service in Lake Charles with our Tropical Storm Harvey briefing for 4:30 p.m. on Sunday, August 27th. Harvey is still a tropical storm. It's moving very slowly towards the central Texas coast, and it's expected to meander near the coastline Monday and Tuesday before moving north, making landfall in the Houston-Galveston area on Wednesday. The major storyline with this system is continuing the heavy rain and flood threat, especially in southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana. This system is not expected to strengthen significantly wind-wise. However, the tides will run a foot or two above normal later this week, and the winds will be gusting near the coast at 25 to 35 miles an hour, especially in the stronger rain bands as we move through the area. There will also continue to be an isolated tornado threat, especially in southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana tonight and Monday. Here's the latest satellite imagery of Tropical Storm Harvey, and the distinction here that's kind of interesting is just where exactly the rain bands are lining up. There's a large blob across southeast Texas, and there's a little bit of a break, really, the green shades you can see in southwest Louisiana. So we've been kind of worked over for storms earlier today. And then some stronger storms, heavier rain bands further to our east and south central Louisiana that extend further to the east and the southeast Louisiana. This is what it looks like on radar. I drew the L for where the system is located, somewhere in the Victoria region along the central Texas coastline. And then you can see the rain bands associated with it. So there's a large rain band in the Houston area there. And some also coming across Jefferson County right now as well, but then the break you can see in the Cameron-Calcasieu region, and then the heavier band that extends from the Eunice, Opelousas region down towards Lafayette, and also down probably to New Iberia and really the coastal waters off the St. Mary Parish coastline. Here's the latest forecast track associated with Harvey. You can see that they're basically forecasting it to do a slow curl out in the Gulf. It'll be over water for less than 36 hours. So we're not talking about a long duration time, but it'll be over water. No significant strengthening is expected. They did say that they may have to issue a tropical storm warning for the coast at some point, either tonight or tomorrow. But remember, the point of this event's really not going to be the wind. The point of this event's going to be the rainfall and associated flooding. Here's the rainfall observations, at least estimates that we've seen so far. You can see the big, large white blob in the Houston area. That's over 20 inches of rain. Locally, we've got in southeast Texas between 12 to 16 inches of rain across parts of Hardin, Jefferson, and Orange counties. And then the red zone indicates 6 to 10 inches of rain across basically Tyler, a good chunk of Jasper County, parts of Newton County, and coming into Calcasieu and Cameron parishes as well. So that's what we've seen so far across the area. Now, this graphic here is updated from what we saw earlier in terms of the threat zones. The pink on here, 10 to 20 inches of rain, you can see has been extended a little bit northward and eastward across East Texas as well as southwest Louisiana. These rain totals of 10 to 20 inches, that's the rain totals not only from what we saw earlier today, but also including the next round of rain that we're expecting later on tonight. In fact, we have rain ongoing in southeast Texas. So this is the totals that we're looking at expected in that area for the next 12 hours, including what we saw today. Tomorrow, this is the graphic that we showed earlier. Nothing's changed here. The threat of 5 to 10 inches of rain across a good chunk of southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana. Now, this graphic here has changed. This is the forecast rainfall for Tuesday. They've bumped up the rain numbers in southeast Texas. So you can see we're looking at basically 6 inches of rain across parts of Hardin and Jefferson County. 5-inch contour really extends across the remainder of East Texas and southeast Texas, whereas a 3-inch contour comes down into southwest Louisiana. So values are increasing as the system is staying slow, moving very slowly across the area down there in the Texas coast. We're going to have to be probably bumping up our rain totals every day as we monitor the system. So this is the first stab at that, bumping up the rain chances, or the rain totals, I should say, for Tuesday. Wednesday, you notice they moved the bullseye a little bit further north because By Wednesday, the system should be making landfall in the Houston-Galveston area. I wouldn't be surprised, however, if these rain bands do extend further south, and there are coastal areas of southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana. So don't be surprised if these numbers increase for Jefferson, Orange counties, as well as Calcasieu and Cameron parishes on Wednesday. But we've still got a little bit of time to work with before we update those numbers. And then this is the Thursday and Friday rain totals, basically a couple of inches of rain across the area, southeast Texas, southwest Louisiana, inch to inch and a half across central Louisiana and south central Louisiana. The river forecast is the same as what we were showing earlier. Major flooding is expected at Pine Island Bayou near Sour Lake and Bevel Oaks, as well as Village Creek near Kuntz. So that's, one of the areas where we've seen some of the heaviest rain today, and it's being reflected in the the river forecast as well now. Moderate flooding is expected on the Neches River near Beaumont, the Sabine River near Deweyville, and on the Calcasieu River at Old Town Bay and West Fork near Sam Houston Jones State Park. Minor flooding is indicated by the orange dots, and there are several forecast points across the area that's expected to get to minor flood as well. The tornado watch is in effect for parts of southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana now till 2 a.m. in the morning. We have had a couple of reports of tornadoes, one in Vermilion Parish, one in Iberia Parish today. So both Vermilion and Iberia have confirmed tornado reports in their areas, and that's the risk areas that we're looking at for the remainder of tonight. I wouldn't be surprised tomorrow we'll have another round of isolated tornadoes again during the daytime on Monday. So in summary, Harvey is still a tropical storm, moving very slowly toward the Texas coast, and it's going to meander near the central Texas coast Monday and Tuesday before moving back onshore in the Houston-Galveston area on Wednesday. The main storyline here is going to be the heavy rain and flood threat, especially in southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana. The storyline is not going to be the winds or anything like that. We're looking at tides running a foot or two above normal, winds being gusting near the coast at 25 to 35 miles an hour, and there will be a continuing and isolated tornado threat, especially in southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana for tonight and Monday. So in terms of rain numbers, we're expecting another round of heavy rain to come in later on tonight in southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana, with another 5 to 10 inches of rain possible on top of what we've already seen today. In central and south central Louisiana, 1 to 3 inches of rain is expected in their area tonight. And then on Monday and Monday night, we're expecting another round of rain and flooding. We're looking at 5 to 10 inches of rain tomorrow and tomorrow night in southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana, 1 to 3 inches in central Louisiana, and higher values to the south of 3 to 8 inches in south central Louisiana. So obviously we're looking at, once again, widespread flooding across the area. Some of it will be extending further to the east, especially along the I-10 corridor south as you go further to our east. So that's it from the National Weather Service Lake Charles. The next briefing will be Monday morning at 10:30 a.m.
The leader has unmuted your line.
Roger, it's Craig Stanford. For the night, like say the next.
Okay, stay right there. I want to thank our signing interpreter today for being here. We want to make sure everyone gets our message, including our disabled community. So, thank you. Andy, I'm just going to let you go straight to the weather. We're going to do something a little bit different today. When we're finished with the weather, we're going to ask some of the elected officials to go over to the podium here in the corner. So if y'all just stand by with us for about 2 minutes after we're finished here, and we'll get reset up over there and go with the comments from there. Here you go, Andy.
Okay, thank you, Dick. The main talking points, again, as far as our area is concerned, is going to be the heavy rainfall and significant to potentially catastrophic flooding across the area, probably especially early this week. One thing to note, Roger was mentioning with Harvey is forecasted to make a little bit of a jog into the Gulf, and we're actually looking at it to potentially becoming a tropical storm. Well, it is already a tropical storm, but we could have tropical storm warnings for mainly Cameron Parish. We're thinking it's going to be a low-end wind event with wind gusts maybe 35 approaching 40 miles per hour along the coast. The main takeaway is just focus on the heavy rainfall threat that we're going to be having here, at least over the next 2 to 3 days, we think. Are there any questions?
Okay, a couple other operational issues. Commander Cost with Coast Guard, if you could just come up real quick. He has some information on the shipping and the ship channel.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Again, I'm Dan Cost with the Coast Guard here in Lake Charles. With respect to the Calcasieu River ship channel, we are currently at port condition X-ray. So what does that mean? It primarily means that for deep draft ships, those big ships over 500 gross tons that you might see out there, that if they're going to come in or go out, they need to be working with us. Now, the caveat to that is due to the offshore weather out there, the pilots have restricted traffic, right? So the Lake Charles pilots are the ones that actually bring these big ships in and out of the port. It's just too rough right now for them to be able to get to those ships. So effectively, traffic, as far as deep draft traffic in the river is concerned, is shut down. We don't have any big ships moving at this time, and we have 2 ships that we're trying to get out and then a couple ships that we would like to bring in. But of course, that can't be done until the weather improves. With respect to other commercial traffic in the port, your tugs and barges, things like that, they are still running. We hold 1,400 port coordination team calls every day to kind of get a status update on how things are going. But commercial traffic kind of locally still moving on the Intracoastal Waterway is working normally at this time, and we continue to monitor the situation. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Commander Cost. And of course, it's very important for us to keep up with our shipping with all of the industry that we have here that depend on that. We have Chief Butch Browning, State Fire Marshal, with us today. Butch, did you have any comments? Okay, thanks for being with us today. I know Butch is going to be meeting with our search and rescue assets. They have some things to bring to the table, and they'll be meeting after this meeting today. Okay, we're going to wrap up this part. We're going to move over to the corner. If y'all would just bear with us for a minute, we'll be back on in about 2 minutes.
No, you can make me look good. I'm gonna go after you anyway, Tony. She can probably stand right here. Yeah. You. I'm trying to hide that, man. No, I can't, man. I took my cap off, man. That's the best. Don't even play, boy. Don't even play. See you. I'm trying to get my hair right. Hey, I get my hair right, Kevin. Dang. See you.
So we looks good.
We can see you.
Kevin, don't get me in trouble.
I won't, I promise.
Come right here so they get you in the picture. Right there.
Can you function like that?
Okay, now
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there you go. Do you want to stand back? You want to stand back a little bit or a little bit ahead? Okay. Ready? Okay. Welcome to the Calcasieu Parish Emergency Operations Center. We're going to have some comments by elected officials here about the impending weather and the state of emergency that we're in, and we'll get right to it. We're going to start with Sheriff Tony Mancuso. Sheriff.
Thank you, Dick. We have a lot, I think, to cover for all of us today. Couple housekeeping things. You know, we put barricades up for a reason, whether it be on the roadways, on our boat launches, and they're not to be moved. If we catch you moving them, we're going to cite you, and you're going to have to deal with the consequences of it. Our boat launches, people are moving barricades and launching boats. We have the rivers closed down for a reason. If you have to go to your property, you're allowed to do that, but put the barricades back after you move them. Those are the only people that should be using the boat launches. And if they do, they should put the barricades back where they were. We have I have too many roads that have water on them right now to actually, we did a 2 o'clock assessment everywhere in the parish. Benton, Starks area, DeQuincy, Carlos, Sulphur, everywhere. Lake Charles proper, Moss Bluff, a lot in Moss Bluff, a lot in the Sulphur area, a lot in the Lake Charles area. So, you know, as the rain subsides, it goes down. But as soon as the rain starts back up, it's going to build back up, and it becomes very, very dangerous. So, again, when you see barricades on some of these streets, don't think you can just go around them. Be very, very cautious and very careful. The public has done a pretty good job of staying off the roadways today, which helps us because we're not dealing with the accidents and the other problems that go along with bad weather. So I'm urging people again, don't let your guard down. We're by no means past this ordeal. As a matter of fact, the worst is probably going to be tonight and tomorrow that we're going to have to deal with. So, you know, now's the time. Again, you should already be prepared. We've had 3 or 4 days. We've been warning and talking. Parents, I need you to talk to your kids and talk to them about deciding to get their wakeboards and go behind UTVs and ATVs and play in the water. To them, it may be fun, but to us, besides the danger factor, we've got people that literally have about a foot before water goes into their house. And we don't want big trucks and these UTVs and ATVs causing more problems than we already have. This is a dangerous situation. It's still a very serious situation. And, you know, you just need to get control of them right now before we have to. We have other things that we need to be doing, to be honest with you. And if you can control your kids and deal with them right now, that would really help us, especially our roadways. And I'm not talking about just kids, all of us. Unless you have to be on the roadways, and there's people that have to be at our works, our industries, our plants, there's people that have to be on the roadway. Nobody's limited. Nobody's being told not to drive. We're saying use good common sense right now. It's going to be dangerous as we go into the night and into the morning. If we get some reprieve, then, you know, we'll just thank God and be glad that we got the reprieve. But for right now, it looks like we still have a very dangerous situation, and it's going to get a little worse. You see what's going on in Houston right now, and you know, we are prepared. I've talked to the governor today, Colonel Reeves with the state police, our sheriff's association. We have teams that are ready and willing to come help us in the event we need help. We've activated our personnel, our safety personnel already. They're ready. They've got staged in various areas all over the parish. So should it get bad real quick, we're prepared. And if it gets worse than what we predict, we're prepared for that too. So the public has to do their part. And so far they have, but don't get relaxed just because it hadn't happened yet. This is probably, we've been waiting for Sunday. Dick and I and the other public officials have been kind of waiting all week, saying Sunday would be the day we truly would figure out where we truly think this thing will go. But you know what? It's still unpredictable. So I don't want people to let their guard down. I want them to take it serious. And I want the public to be very cautious about their children playing in this weather and the things that are going on. I've talked to several police jurors that have concerns about barricades and the wakeboarding behind the UTVs. I mean, come on. We just need some help here from the public. And you've been very good with us about that. And I'm asking you again, let's think about what's going on right now and the seriousness of it, because it can get worse. And we're hoping it doesn't, but we have to assume it's going to get worse and be ready to deal with it. And that's what we're doing. So I appreciate it. Dick, that's really all I have, unless you had some questions about road closure specifically.
Well, does anyone have a question for the sheriff? And then we'll have a little time afterwards for general questions. Okay, at this time, Police Jury President Kevin Guidry.
Thank you, Dick Grimion. Just to kind of reiterate what we talked about this morning at our 10:30 meeting, you know, watching national television, watching the Weather Channel, there's so much that's happening in Harrison County and Houston. And one of the biggest problems that we've seen that officials are having there is that calls that are coming into the emergency system there are not really emergency calls. And we want to ask if there's anybody that's got an emergency that's not life-threatening, we ask that you would please not make those calls, because what it's doing is that it's putting a strain on our system for us to go out and help those that are definitely in need. And I spoke with Sheriff Tony Mancuso this morning. We just want to make sure that we have all of our resources in the right places, helping the right people that need it. So we just want to say to you, we know that it's going to get a little bit worse tonight. And also, we've made the announcement that everybody know that there's going to be school closures on tomorrow, speaking with Superintendent Cole Brookhouse. So we know that parents are going to have to try and find means to get their kids babysitters or some means to get them taken care of for tomorrow. But on the side of the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury, our offices will be closed on tomorrow. So that we want to make clear that our offices will be closed on tomorrow. And talking with Lynn Jones, we don't know exactly what some of the other government agencies are going to be doing tomorrow, but the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury will be closed on tomorrow. There are some other entities within our system that will be open to help the general public, but we just wanted to make sure that that was known, that our offices will be closed on tomorrow. And we just want to say to the citizens, if there's not an emergency that has to put you out this evening or even tomorrow morning on the road, please don't, because we don't want to have to go out and help someone that we could be helping someone else that's probably in a more serious or a dire situation. So we just want to ask you, if it's not an emergency to where you have to leave your home, please stay in. We're asking that because just watching television, and it's sad when you look at Harrison County as to how it's just been devastated. We didn't know that something like that could get that bad that quick. We all saw it coming. We knew that it was going to happen, but we're here in Calcasieu Parish trying to make sure that we get in front of all of those things before it happened, partly because we have the resources and we have the capabilities and we have the people to make sure that that happens. So just want to say again, if there's not a dire emergency for any citizen here in Calcasieu Parish to be on the roadway, we're asking that you please stay in. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Guidry. On the mayors, I'm just going to go from left to right. Mayor Stinson.
Thank you, Dick. I just would like to reiterate in Benton that the City Hall will be open. Public Works, we're going to be out trying to make sure that everything is safe. I do reiterate what has been said before to the citizens of Benton. Please, if you don't have to be out, stay in. Stay in the house. Stay safe. That way there's one less person that we have to go and deal with. But we do still have sand and sandbags. I'd like to have all the residents know. And if you need any help with that, we will have some people around the Public Works building to help you with that. Other than that, just please stay safe. Thank you.
Mayor Hunter.
Thank you. Good afternoon. For the City of Lake Charles, all non-essential services will be canceled tomorrow. Again, we've used the word reiterate several times, but it really is key. If you don't have to be out on the roads, don't be out on the roads, especially for today. And if you absolutely do have to be out on the roads, please be mindful that if you're driving at a high rate of speed and you're causing a wake, that creates danger not only for yourself or other drivers, but it can also be pushing water into people's homes. And we've had a lot of reports of drivers just not being very considerate when they're driving down these roads. The water is pushing onto people's property and up to their doorsteps. We have several areas in Lake Charles that did see some street flooding today. We're relatively pleased that after the rain stopped, it seemed to drain relatively quickly, but we do expect that when the rain picks up again, that the same will happen, that these streets will flood again. There are some streets where we're seeing even people parked on the street, not knowing that in 2 or 3 hours their vehicle will be carried away with water. We saw that on the corner of Bank and 7th today, and we've seen that in the past too. So if you know that these streets are prone to flooding, not only avoid them, but don't park in the street either. And again, what Sheriff Tony Mancuso said is so key. Those barricades are there for a reason. Please do not drive around a barricade. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Hunter. Mayor Duncan from Sulphur.
Thank you, Dick. Today at 3:55 p.m., we issued a press release saying that all city offices will be closed tomorrow. We'll have our essential employees, Public Works, fire and police out on the scenes, taking care of what's needed. If you actually live in a flood-prone area or an area that's been known to flood, please take your necessary precautions now. Don't wait. Sandbagging operation is still in effect at Sulphur City Hall with the joint venture with the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury. Sand's still available, bags are still available. Come help yourselves. We actually have trustees out there helping bag and that for the citizens in the area that need help. But there again, like the sheriff and everybody else said, you know, we put up barricades today. We already have 5 of them damaged because people don't stop. They're running them over, going around them. They're up there for a reason, and we're going to take this serious. If we have to, like Tony said, we're going to issue tickets. That's plain, blunt, and simple. We're going to have to issue tickets, and you can deal with the court system at that time. You need to be off the roadway. Don't be on the roadway unless you have to, because this could be a serious matter if we get the rainfall that we're expected to get. Like Nick said, the water went down quick, but with us being majorly tidal base, it's got some concerns tonight at 8 o'clock. If we get a massive rain at high tide again, the tide should be up as high as it is right now, but we don't have that crystal ball. We just have to wait and see. So if you got to stay off the roads, please stay off the roads as much as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Duncan. Mayor Ponche.
Town of Iowa will be open tomorrow, but like a lot of you, we're going to have personnel with issues of being able to get into work because they have children still at home and they're having to make rush arrangements to have someone care for them. So we'll be operating with a skeletal crew, but we will be open. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Hardy.
Thank you, Mr. Gimion. Westlake's going to close City Hall. Again, just what all of them are saying. We're going to keep the essential people that we need on hand. If you're asking them to stay off the road, why would you ask yours to come in and drive on the roads that we already flooded? We got certain areas, we're right off the river, right? So the Shady Lane area, Sampson Street, the main constructions are all drained to the river. So stay off the roads if you can. We'll have a crew available. Chief Wilrye and Chief Piku are ready to go. Just be smart. Stay off the roads. Don't flood somebody's house. Remember, it's your home might get the same flood next time. So that's where we're at. We're going to be closed City Hall, but Public Works and everybody else will be working. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Hardy. Mayor Hennigan, DeQuincy.
Tell him how high you are, sir.
Well, Mayor Hardy just said that they're all telling me that DeQuincy's high and dry, which we are blessed to be the high point in the parish. I will say that. But the council felt the need today to declare a state of emergency in DeQuincy, and with that, you might not believe it, we've had calls of kids that are rafting with inner tubes and kayaks down the Buxton Creek drainage ditch. Folks, that's dangerous. We've seen boats sucked under the Highway 27 bridge, Highway 12 bridge before. So with the state of emergency, I'm hereby closing Buxton Creek to any and all personnel. That anyone caught on there will be trespassing, and we'll prosecute them accordingly. It's for their safety. It's sad to have to do that, but that's what we're going to do. And if you're caught on there, we're going to prosecute it, and it's the way it is until further notice. One place that we do have, I wanted to mention, in DeQuincy, we're lucky that the rain has quit. It's slacked off a good bit, and hasn't quit, but it's gone. The creeks are going down and the ditch are going down. But when we do have a heavy rain on Highway 389 and LeBlanc Street, the corner there at the nursing home, the water comes up quick. We'll barricade that off when it deemed necessary, and anyone going around the barricades, we're going to be like everyone else. It's going to be prosecuted because that's causing a hardship, in a potential dangerous situation for the folks in the nursing home. So we ask you to, you know, God gave us a brain. He's in control. So let's use that brain and take care of our neighbors as well as ourselves also. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Hannigan. I think Sheriff Mancuso had one more short thing.
Well, I was going to let you, yeah, no short jokes. I was going to let you, just announce, I'm going to get a list to the media. They may have already emailed it, of the roads that have water on them now, or had water on them. We did a 2 o'clock assessment. If they had water on them, as I send out the list, they're going to have water again as soon as we get a rain. And most people live in these areas and they know this already. So again, these areas just become very dangerous, and can change with a snap of a finger with a little downpour. So with the rain we're expected to get, we're going to send that to the media, and most of you, if you want me to send it to you, I'll send it to you too, but it affects the whole parish. There's not one single area that's not affected by it. It's a pretty large area. We sent probably about 50 deputies out in different directions today to just check roads, and we came up with this list. So I just want people to be mindful of that, and think about the people who could be getting water in their house tonight, and be very, very cautious. Stay off our roadways.
I'll say quick next time, Sheriff. One administrative note for the police jury, the waste management trash collection will not be held tomorrow. They'll announce a schedule later. And I just wanted to say, this is our executive policy group up here, the sheriff, the police jury president, the mayors of Calcasieu Parish. And they're the ones who meet and make these policy decisions that we've been talking about today. And the reason they're all up here is to show unity for our emergency operations. And just wanted the public to know that these are the people that are making your decisions. I think they've made some wise decisions on this event. And with that, we'll take, anyone have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
How long do you recommend citizens to stay inside? I know you keep urging them to stay inside, but how many days would
Well,
you
the
say?
heavy rain event, I think, is going to be tonight through tomorrow, so at least through tomorrow night. It could possibly extend into Tuesday morning, but the latest forecast looks like they've backed away a little bit on the rainfall amount, so at least through tomorrow night. Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, Dick, with that, are y'all considering a curfew order, Sheriff Mancuso?
No, I don't think that's necessary at this time. I think, you know, these like right now, the rain has stopped. You know, if people need to get out, there's people that need to get out and go to the store and get baby formula or some necessities. It's safe during these times. It's just when these downpours come, it can change rapidly, and that's all we're asking people to do, is to be mindful and think about your personal safety. Again, we've given you 3 or 4 days as far as those people that live in low-lying areas that know they're going to flood. They flood just with downpours. They should have already made preparations and dealt with securing their homes and lifting furniture and whatever. It's kind of late for that. It's kind of time for that now. This is the day that we always felt it was going to happen. So as far as, you know, day-to-day work and getting out, we're just asking you, no curfews. I don't think that's necessary. It's not like we're without electricity or anything like that. We're in good shape. We're able to take care of ourselves. We're able to move about. But just be mindful of these things. And if you don't have to get out, that just helps us. It helps us to do our assessments and to see what we have going on and where the water is rising, where it's going down. We're not telling anybody they have to. And there's a difference. I just want people to use good common sense, especially in regards to our children doing some, as the other mayor said, some things that just are unsafe and can cause harm to other people's property. It may be fun while they're doing it, but they're not looking at the big picture of what they could be dealing with and what we have to deal with. So.
Okay, thank you, Sheriff. Anyone else? Or do we have any alibis? Anyone forget to say anything?
Let me just say something about the courts. I just want to say the 14th JDC is closed tomorrow, as well as Clerk of Court's office. Those of you who are scheduled for jury duty on Tuesday, please call the number on your summons Monday night. We're going to be making decisions for Tuesday sometime tomorrow like everybody else, so stay tuned. Thank you.
Okay. Once again, trash pickup in the parish tomorrow will be delayed. We'll have a schedule out later. Yes, ma'am.
If people are dealing with debris clogging up their coverts and their drainage ditches, will you have teams out there?
Yeah, call our regular parish public works office number or the main number, public works number. If they can't get them there, they can call 911 and they'll page us out.
And are there still sandbags available?
Yes, we'll be continue the sandbag operation through at least tomorrow. Anyone else? Okay, well, I thank everyone for being with us today, and thank you for your patience.